I live in this really strange town. No, it wasn't an abandoned town, but rather a town full of twisted and perverted people. It feels really odd to live in a town like that, but what are we really talking about, basically? Did you know I am a ghost hunter and rent houses to debunk if ghosts are real or not? Are they real, you may ask? Well, it's a pretty controversial topic to even talk about, but let me explain what this is. Ghosts are extremely rare to find. There are only some houses that are considered haunted, and I have debunked two ghost cases as real, surprisingly. They are super rare, and are probably even a new species. Here's something that's fortunate, to be honest, and it's funny as a paranormal investigator who explores and investigates haunted related attractions. There is, in fact, a ghost in my house I just currently live in. In fact, two ghosts, and I'll tell you the story of me and how I encountered two spirits in my house. And yes, I'm a paranormal investigator, but before that, I just wanted to say that these ghosts shows you have been watching are just fictional. But this is what it's like living with two ghosts. I live in this one-story home located in Wisconsin. It's white with red on it, and it is very dark inside the house. It has a really dim basement, and have a dog inside. I live by myself inside this home. I graduated college a few years before this event took place. This takes place in 2009. I was at least around 25 years old at the time making this. But here was the story. It was around 2009, and I was still a ghost hunter. I was hunting ghosts for 4 years at that time. It was a dinner night out, and I went to a local diner nearby. The meal I got was ribs. The ribs were very good and very delicious. I went back home to watch these dumb ghost shows that are supposedly quote-unquote real. It was a good laugh, if you ask me. Anyway, I went to bed, slept, and woke up in the middle of night. What was odd, however, is that I felt a strange touching to my skin. It could have been one of my cats, but you never know what it is since I was a ghost hunter who actually had seen spirits. Anyway, the next morning I played frisbee with my dog. It was an interesting game and had a lot of fun. That was until my dog began to stare at something out in the fields. He was staring at it and nothing was ever seen. "Hey, Joel, what is it?" I asked my dog. "Joel, what do you see?" I said again, not responding but seeing this thing that isn't seen. Then I looked up. Why is my dog seeing something that I can't see? The results pop up. My dog, Joel, saw something a human can't see. So basically, the thing is, animals can see some things that humans can't. Now I get it. There was probably a ghost at my house, and therefore, that was the case of a spirit haunting my house. The time hit around evening, and I heard some sort of quiet bang. A knock, to be exact, or something like footsteps. I live in a short house, and it was a pretty quiet town. Here was the audio clip of the knocking. Then I heard another knock or something like that. It got to my nerves on hearing knocks when I was home alone. These knocks just came out of nowhere. I know there's at least got to be a ghost in my house, so I had to investigate the house myself. The home was a pretty small house, if you ask me, but it literally haunted. As the paranormal investigator I am, I tried to communicate with the ghosts by calling them out. It obviously didn't work. But why did I do that? Basically, I have done this in the first real ghost sighting. The other one I did from some sort of walkie-talkie or some translator. So basically, I was thinking of using some sort of translator to communicate with this ghost. Okay, I went to the store today, so it appears that I found myself a communicator to this ghost that cost $20. I needed $20, and therefore decided to save myself some money. I went to work pretty much that week. I went to work at the office. I got $19 and skipped a week of shopping. I went to work for the second time and I earned a lot more cash. The cash I got was around $49. Perfect. Now I could get the communicator and well, god damn it, they were out of it. And I had to buy one from Harlow. The Harlow store didn't include a communicator that cost $40. Perfect. I bought it and it luckily worked. From the sound of the knocking footsteps, it sounded like it was in the basement or somewhere. No, I live in a small house, but hearing the sound is pretty soundworthy, or whatever it is. I needed to debunk if that's a prankster, an actual spirit roaming around my house. So I put the recorder in. After that, I took my pills and went to sleep. Around 11 in the morning. It was a good night's sleep, unlike the last time. I checked this communication thing and recorded something. What did it record, you may ask? It recorded something like this.
I'll feast on Carl. I'll feast on you. I will feast on all of you. Don't even take a picture of my body, or else I'll feast on you. You have very sensible skin. Your skin smells so good. I want to eat it. It reminds me of you.
What it just recorded was, in fact, an actual ghost. It wasn't any kind of ghost. This actually spooked me. In Myuu, my name, and the most disturbing part of this is how his voice sounded. It didn't sound like the last two ghosts before. It sounded very clear. Normally, the ghosts I spoke to actually sound very unclear and distorted. This one actually sounded more clear than the other ones I spoke to. He clearly wants to kill me and outright cannibalize me. It's a ghost after all, right? Not just any ghost I communicate to. This spirit is an absolute psychopath. Normal spirits are just comfortable by themselves, while this spirit, one question. How did he even know that my name was Carl? Has this spirit even stalked me? The question is really unknown. The thing about this, he said he was gonna quote-unquote kill me for taking a photo of him. So instead of taking a picture, I may sketch him instead if I saw him. No, I'm not a very good drawer, and please respect me for the doodle style I normally draw in, but anyway. I was thinking about getting my security cameras out to record it around the house. I went to the store again and bought the cameras and the other equipment to keep myself to keep private, so the spirit wouldn't be able to kill me. It was around 9 o'clock, and while I went inside the basement, dark, unsettling, and very unnerving, I brought a flashlight with me. It was absolutely eerie going into the dark. You never know if there's a spirit there. But I went into the basement for a cup of tea, but that's when I heard that knock again. Ugh, I said, but I needed some sleep. Yet again, I took my sleeping pills and put the camera to the basement to see anything spirit-related there. So I recorded the cameras and went to sleep. I woke up early, however, and went to check to see the camera footage. When I did, oh boy. Because he really wasn't the only spirit living inside the home. There was another spirit inside the house as well, and here's how I can describe them. The footage contained not one, but two ghosts haunting the place. The one talking the video clip was shorter. He was around 5 feet 10 inches tall, and he had what appeared to be some black long-sleeve jacket, black jeans, and he had a long brown hair. He appeared to have what appeared to be a mustache. All I know, it was him due to the voice matching the one in the video clip. The other one was taller, in fact, taller than me. He was around 6 feet 4 inches tall, wore a blue spring jacket, blue jeans, had black hair. He had black hair and had some voice that didn't sound human. Like, good God, he sounded something like some animal. I couldn't even try to record it, just how absolutely terrifying it was. I was around 6 feet 2 inches tall, and I could tell that. It was 3 in the morning, and that night, until I heard that knocking again, Joel came down to the basement and where I was drinking my cup of tea. Joel was shaking in fear, like he saw something terrible. It wasn't even stormy that night, so I kept Joel in a safe place, grabbed my camera, and peeked around where the place I had to get my cup of tea in. Took a picture on where one of the spirits was in. It was the shorter one, and sneaked into the storage room to see where the taller one went into, and took a picture of it as well. My house is obviously haunted. These aren't friendly ghosts is all I know of. My dog, Joel, is obviously not safe as well. It's all in the matter that there could be a possibility to fight these spirits. Okay, I just doodled these pictures of two spirits. Things just got worse, because I was about to go to sleep until something disgusting happened. What I smelled smells like some cooked blood, with the smell of meat and a sense of fear. Because I went downstairs, opened the storage room, and stumbled across something. It was the two spirits, and what I saw shocked me. The spirits feasting on a body of what appears to be another man. He looked like my neighbor for some reason, and that's because it was him. And then they looked at me. I got out and ran upstairs to get out of that house. If you're wondering, there are some spirits that have the ability to eat like those spirits. I went under the table to hide, and then there they were. They were going upstairs to go outside. Outside where, you may ask? Basically, I had to figure it out and went to my car. I had some sort of radar where the spirits could be. I drove to that exact location on where the spirits were. It was apparently 10 graves with the pictures of what the spirits once were. I could even identify what these two spirits were. The short one went by the name of David Robert Bird, and the taller one was named Edward Dominic Thorne. I could tell from their matching descriptions. I began to learn what happened to them. Apparently, David and Edward were two young men who, apparently in the winter of 1989, went to a bus full of men and women inside, and it was really snowing out. I traveled towards my town and would eventually crash. Around 25 people died, and the only survivors were that of David, Edward, and another man named John. Cold, hungry, and thirsty, David and Edward went insane and eventually cannibalized John. David and Edward thought the man tasted, quote-unquote, good, and would eventually eat themselves to death due to the fact that they were beginning to be addicted to human flesh. Ugh, that's just pretty weird, I said. It's also confirmed that David Bird and Edward Thorne are criminals. They robbed banks and burglarized homes. I get it's a dangerous thing to do, but I'm going to have to buy some new things as well. Instead of being in my own house, I'm planning to travel to my friend Carson's house and use ghost bait there. I could communicate with the ghost with a message saying his address, state, and street. I've heard some ghosts can sense locations and maybe even follow it. I packed up my stuff, including the equipment, so I could travel to Carson's house in Illinois. It was a home located in the Chicago metropolitan area. I brought in my dog Joel and my cat Jeff. I set up the recorder so the ghost could follow. I could consider it ghost bait and see how we can follow to Carson's house. Carson was a good friend, if you ask me, and he really didn't care if there's ghosts in the house, even if it's harmful for some reason. When I arrived at Carson's, we talked about how these two spirits haunting my house. The spirits are likely going to come to our house, and it's not easy for them to enter our home. And trust me, it's getting tough. You're gonna have to deal with a lot of the haunting caused by the series of spirits. During that day, I heard this. At my friend's house, I knew that bait might have worked. I was in the bedroom when I heard this. It might in fact be one of the spirits. The spirits are probably hungry for human meat. I need to keep Joel and Jeff away from David and Edward. They're dangerous. Before bed, I went and listened to Elvis Crespo's Suavemente outside. It was a catchy song, and Carson was, watching SpongeBob SquarePants on TV. That's until I heard this. Really creepy breathing. Here's the clip. The breathing stopped. I turned around and it ran away. Oh, goodness, I said as it fled away. The thing was David. The question is, David is literally a 35-year-old man who sounds so strange and animal-like when he speaks. He doesn't sound very human-like. Carson heard the breathing too. However, today is the last time I'll ever hear from David and Edward again. Why is that, you may ask? Well, today I heard knocking again. My dog was obviously barking. Then I hear the voices again. Apparently this time, David eventually said, "He doesn't smell too good. Let's feast on another man." I was back in my house at the time. It seems like that I feel unsafe now. However, I still won't show you the pictures of David and Edward. Still didn't feel safe, but that's about it for my story.